Welcome to the Gap Year Podcast, where we explore the who, what, where, when, and why of gap years. It's real people sharing their stories, ideas, and experts diving deep into how you can make the right decisions in order to have a meaningful gap year. This is the place to be no matter where you are on your gap year journey. I'm Michelle Dittmer, your resident gap year expert. Let's jump right in. So you're telling me the Canadian Gap Year Association is giving away money for people not to go to school? Yes, sirree, that's exactly what we're doing. We have $5,000 in scholarships to distribute to people who are taking a gap year or who have just finished their gap year. Take a listen to this podcast episode to learn how to apply and how to get the best advantage when filling out your answers. Hey there, everyone. My name is Michelle Dittmer, and I am your host and gap year expert. We have a giant announcement this month. This is the Canadian Gap Year Association's 5th birthday. We are celebrating 5 years as a nonprofit organization. Woohoo! Happy birthday to us. And in order to mark this amazing, incredible, just wonderful milestone, we are launching $5,000 in scholarship funds specifically for young people on a gap year. This is going to be an annual fund that we will be offering in huge gratitude and thanks to our sponsors, our board of directors, and donations from our gap year alum themselves who know how valuable their gap time was. So a huge shout out to all those who made this possible, and a huge shout out to you who is potentially going to be the recipient of this money. So it's been a long time in the works because we work with so many incredible gappers who have big dreams for their gap years. Dreams of learning new skills, like learning how to code or maybe scuba diving. Folks who want to engage in cool experiences like travel or going to a songwriter's retreat or building their very own woodworking business and they need some supplies. These are all things that are going to cost money, and we want to make that possible through this scholarship. Now, it's really funny that we as a society, we have no issue seeing the value in paying tuition to a formal school, and we pay this in order to learn. But sometimes so many people struggle to see the value in non-formal learning outside of an institution. But not us, not here at the Canadian Gap Year Association. We are truly, truly supporters of experiential learning. And while gap years can be meaningful on any budget level, some dreams do require a bit of funds to maximize the individual growth and development and learning that can take place. So we really want to kickstart that for you. And we want to give you permission to spend some money on something that will help you grow. $1,000 to be exact. So this scholarship is broken down into 5 different scholarships. 4 $1,000 scholarships are being awarded to folks entering into their gap year. So this is funds specifically to help you achieve your gap year dreams. And one of those scholarships, the 5th scholarship, is going to be awarded to somebody exiting their gap year. So somebody who is going to be taking their next steps after they've finished their gap year. We're going to be releasing 2 scholarships in the spring and 2 scholarships in the fall for upcoming gappers, and our Gap Year Alum Scholarship comes available in the spring. So what does this mean for you? This means get your application in ASAP. For our spring cohort, the applications are open only until May 27th, 2022. So you've got about a month to get those in. But this podcast is designed to help you really understand the process and how you can maximize your application for the likelihood of earning and winning that scholarship. So take a listen. We'll see what we can get through in the next little bit here. So, how does this process work and what exactly are we looking for in a scholarship recipient? These are great questions. So, here's the deal. In order to apply, you should head to our website, cangap.ca/scholarship, and all the information about the process is listed right there for you. So, go there and check it out. Some things you need to know, or some of the things that I'm going to highlight for you, is you need to be between the ages of 17 and 25. You need to be a Canadian citizen, permanent resident, or refugee, and you need to be taking a gap year, or in the case of an alum, you need to be completing your gap year. So really, it's pretty straightforward. You've got to fill out the application. It is not a complicated or tricky application, not terribly time-consuming, but we really want to know why you're taking a gap year and what you're going to do on your gap year and how the money will help you to achieve those things. Now, let me tell you that this application is not based on how smart you are, what your grades are, where you live, how much money you do or do not have. It's all about CanGap finding the person who will put this money to work. Someone who's going to be thoughtful and intentional with their time and money, and who's going to make sure that they are growing and learning on their gap year. It really is to reinforce the true essence of what a gap year is all about. We want you to be successful. We want your gap year to be a stepping stone to your success and happiness, and that comes in all forms. So you should know that you're not going to get bonus marks or bonus points for being charitable with this money. You'll be considered equally if you want to buy yourself a new pair of basketball kicks so you can bring it on the court, or if you want to start a refuge for sick puppies, or if you want to get a plane ticket to explore the world, or to pay for a mental health counselor. All of those things are viable things that are going to move you forward in your life, and those are the type of things that we are looking for. How are you connecting your goals for growth with using the funds that are provided for you? We want to hear what you want, not what you think we want to hear. We want this money to be a tool for you to achieve your goals and give yourself a leg up. Again, applications are closing May 27th for the spring scholarship, so get in there and fill out that application. But if you're still sticking around, if you're still listening, I'm going to give you a few pro tips to help you with that application process. Number one, I want you to be authentic. The ability to be self-aware and honest are core adulting skills, and we want to see that in your application. We want you to tell your story. We want to feel like we know you and where you want to take your gap year. So be crystal clear and be authentic. Number two, we want you to be purposeful. CanGap is all about setting intentions and working towards goals on your gap year. And we want to hear how you are being thoughtful about the process. What are your dreams? But also, what are your actions that you want to take to make those dreams come true? We want to know that you've put thought into your gap year already and that you have some sort of plan for moving yourself forward. The last tip that I'm going to give you is to be diligent. Read the questions, draft your answers, review your answers, and make sure that you are communicating what you really mean. Make sure that what you've written actually communicates the full power of what you're trying to express. And just to verify this, get someone who has read your answers, and then ask them to explain to you what they think you're saying. If they're able to understand what you're saying and communicate that back to you, great. If not, jump in and try again. Don't forget, on this same point of being diligent, make sure that you're checking for typos and spelling mistakes. Now, we're not looking for Oxford commas and APA citations. We just want to know that you took this application seriously, that you've read it over, that you've been thoughtful in the way that you are answering these questions. And part of that comes down to double checking, reading it over, and making sure things simply make sense. Now, a quick little note for alum filling out their application. I want to just give you a quick reminder that you can use this scholarships for things other than tuition. We know tuition is going to be a big expense for you in the upcoming months and years, but consider how you might think outside of the box. What do you want to further that you started on your gap year? So just keep that in the back of your mind when you're filling out your application. Maybe tuition is your most pressing need, but maybe there's something else that can support you in your journey post-gap year. Now, as much as we wish we had funds to award everyone $1,000 for choosing to take a gap year, now don't get me wrong, choosing to prioritize your needs, being self-aware enough to recognize that bucking the status quo is what you need right now, and doing something different than most of your peers should be rewarded. And we wish we had unlimited funds to do that. But alas, we'll only be able to choose 5 of you this year. So we wish you all of the very best luck, even though luck doesn't have anything to do with who's going to come out with this money in the end. And we can't wait to review your applications. So until next time, keep on adventuring.